Now, what really distinguishes the Arabic language from other languages is that the Arabic language is heavily based on a root system. Every word that you speak in Arabic is derived from a particular root. And you have several types of root words. The most common type is the three-letter root. Let me give you some examples here so you can see. And at the level of deriving these roots, you have the minor derivative and you have the major derivative. Let's give an example here so this becomes clear to us. So examples of minor derivatives. Let's take the word safar. Does anyone know what safar means in Arabic? To travel, right? Safar. In Arabic, the word safar is composed of three letters. The sin, the S, the fa, which is the F, and the ra, which is the R. Now, safar means to travel, right? If you want to say he is traveling, you want to make it a verb, you would say yusafiru. You just add a vowel, two vowels, the ya and the alif, and now you give a slightly different meaning. You change it from a noun to a verb. Safar is a noun, traveling, to travel. Yusafir is someone who is traveling. But we see that the root word, the sin, the fa, the ra, stay there. Only the vowels change. Inshallah, in the future we will discuss these different forms. This is just to give you an idea. Now, you also have musafir. Musafir is who? A traveler. You have now another word that is safir. Have you heard what the word safir is? Ambassador. What does an ambassador have to do with traveling? There's some connection there, right? An ambassador is one who travels to a foreign state and he or she represents that state. So you're talking about some distance. So all of these words, in essence, capture one root word. One common meaning, which is to travel. Now, it depends on the form that you use. You can slightly give different meanings. Now, this is the minor derivative. But there is a major derivative here. And this is more interesting, which shows you the depth of the Arabic language. When it comes to the minor derivative, we're talking about pretty much the same meaning, which is to travel. You're just changing the forms of the word. Traveling, he is traveling, traveler, an ambassador who travels. It's pretty much the same meaning. Now, when you go to the major derivative, you have a more common meaning at the level of the root word that combines all these different meanings. Let's give a few examples. So we have safar here, which means to travel. We also have sifr. Does anyone know what the word sifr means? It's written exactly like safar. The same three letters. But the vowels change. The harakah. That one is safar. This one is sifr. Does anyone know what sifr means? A book. That's why when you read about the Bible in Arabic, the book of Genesis is called what? Sifr al-Takween, for example. Sifr means a book. It's using the same exact root word here. Now there's another word, safir, This one's interesting. Or safira. Does anyone know what the word safir is?
Uncovered.
Uncovered. Someone who's uncovered. Or, in most societies, they refer to a woman, for example, who is not fully covered or not observing the hijab. She's called a safir. You see, the same word is being used here. There's just an extra vowel. And there are many, many other examples that we can find in the major derivative. Another word, tafsir. You've all heard this word. Tafsir uses the same root word. You know what tafsir is, right? Tafsir of the Quran, tafsir of the hadith. The exegesis, the definition, the explanation. Now, I want you to critically think now. Tell me what's common amongst these words. Travel, book, somebody who's uncovered. Tafsir.
The letters Sin, Fa and Ra are common.
Right. And that's why they have the same root word. But what's common amongst the meanings? I mean, why do these four words have the same root word? Because in Arabic, we said that the root word has a meaning, and that meaning applies to all these words that have the same root, the same masdar, the same source. Now, try guessing. What's common amongst these four words? What do they have to do with each other? Such that in the Arabic language, they put them in the same root word. They all have the same root word.
Clarifies or explains.
Yes, exactly. You got very close. To make something apparent. Safar, to travel. Especially, in old centuries, when you would travel, you would come out of your house, and it usually was in the day. So you would come outside of your house, you make yourself apparent. You show yourself out of your house to go to travel. Hence, we see that that original root word from the major derivative is there. Sifr, which means book. What does it have to do with showing or apparent?
Showing information.
Exactly. A book shows you knowledge. It makes information apparent to you, right? Hence, it uses the same root word. That's why any book is called sifr, because it's uncovering knowledge. It's uncovering information for you. Do you see the connection here? This one is obvious, safir, someone who's uncovered, or a woman who's not observing the hijab. Why is she called safir in Arabic? Because she is uncovered, or she is showing what usually is covered, for instance. Tafsir. Why is it called tafsir? Why does it use the same root word? Because it's showing the inherent meanings of the Quran. Meanings that are not apparent to the average person. Through the process of tafsir and exegesis, you make it apparent to the audience, to the listener, to the reader. And hence it's called tafsir. So you see that all these words, they go back to one major root word.